All right, today we got a pretty fun project. We got lower control arms, we have sway bar links, and we're gonna replace these old damaged lug nuts. So, hope you guys enjoy this one. All right, so they should be a 20. They're pretty old and swollen, so we'll see how well they come off. All right, that was pretty impressive. That usually doesn't happen. The vehicle just rusted out. Check those tires out. Okay, those are like slicks. So, we're gonna be doing some cutting today. I guarantee that. So what we're gonna wanna do is get that all drenched. Get that one, get that sprayed down. Pretty much everywhere you're gonna make contact with. A couple lower control arm bolts, hope you could see it. Where's that? And then back here there's two. So pull this out. That's what it looks like inside there. There's two bolts and two nuts. And the one right here is just a bolt, because the nut is actually welded onto the frame. And then you're gonna have to come underneath here and get the lower ball joint, which you're not gonna be able to see. All right, so 32 millimeter. We're gonna take off the axle nut. Not going to do it all the way. So I'm going to have to hit it with a hammer to try to push it back. So you don't have to take the CV axle completely out. It's just you do have to. It's actually free. That's also pretty shocking. So that's cool. We're off to a good start. So if we're lucky, we're going to put it's probably an 18 millimeter back here, and then work this nut off. It's usually easier said than done. I already know how to cut off the other side, so I'm assuming that's probably what we're going to do now. But just so we can get some more wiggle room in this, we're going to go ahead and remove the outer tie rod bolt, which is a 21 millimeter. Use a ratchet wrench. These ones are kind of expensive because of the size. There we go. While we're talking about that, you know, from my channel, I work on a lot of cars. This vehicle actually has the largest nuts that I've seen on any other pickup truck or anything. So you are going to need a 24 millimeter wrench. And if you can afford and have the extra cash for the ratchet wrench, I would highly suggest that. But that's for the lower ball joint. There we go. Put the nut back on so we don't lose it. That'll give us some playroom here. See how that was shredded, completely rusted out. All right. Okay, so that's an 18. I have a 20. Let's just test that out. No, it's not a 20. All right, let's try a 21. It is a 21, just very rusty. Now, with any small amount of luck, this is going to work. gotten further than I thought I would, be honest with you. Nope, that's about as far as it's gonna go. Damn it. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab I'll work this off and get back to you. So this is as far as I got it. Right there. Before that little nut in the back rounds out. I've actually never had one of these just come straight off, so I'm gonna take my cutoff disc and I'm going to cut it off. Okay, I cut the top one off, got to the bottom one. You already see how much trouble I had with the top one, so we'll come back to the bottom one once we get this lower control arm out of the way. That way we'll have a lot more room to play with. So dealer's choice on where you want to start. I'm going to start in that corner. Now the nut is going to be an 18 millimeter, and if you have one of these angled wrenches, that's going to help you out greatly. If not, you might have to pick one up, because you'll see why here in a second. But if you kind of underneath the car, it's two right here, they're 15s. Take your 18, get it on top of the nut up there. There's that one. Now, here's where this angled one comes in handy, because I can't even get it on camera, but it's actually almost touching the frame of the car. I can't even see it, let alone film it for you. And heck, it's close to impossible to reach. So we gotta kind of go like this. And I don't even know where it's at, so that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't even bother recording that, just because, again, you can't see it. You can barely feel it with your hands. That's why I said that's why these angled ones come in handy. Now the next one, it's not exactly hard to get to. It's just you gotta have the right combination of stuff. Now if you had like a lift, you could just easily hit it with like a 1/2 inch socket and stuff, but I don't have that. So here's the setup that I used. I used a shallow 18 with a 1/2 inch swivel and an 8 inch extension. Like I said, if you had a lift and a breaker bar, you're good to go. But if you're like me, you don't. So you got to get up in here and get to that bolt right there. There you have it, so rusted on there. All right. Now we're gonna have to do what I said anyway. So breaker bar won't even fit in there, so we're gonna have to grab 1/2 inch. I'm probably gonna need a a longer 18, but we'll see. Essentially, you just want to get it broke loose. You think 1,000 pounds will do it, but unfortunately, when you're at an angle like that, oh, there we go. I got a little bit. Oh, okay. Okay, got a little bit more. Yeah, like I said, if you have the swivel bits and you have it at too far of an angle, you lose all the power. All right, hopefully that's enough. This is all original, by the way. I'll leave, I don't know what year this vehicle is, but I'll put that up in there on the title as usual. And this is all original, so this is also stuff that probably should have been changed a long time ago, or especially the sway bar links. All right, well, I'm gonna have to do that by hand because this ain't gonna work. It's just breaking my tools. So, good job, craftsman. All right, I was easily able to get this bolt out by my hand. Well, hand tools, I should say. Now, when you think you've ran out of obstacles to run into, there's more. Trust me, there's definitely more. So, this is a nice introduction to all you people who don't live in Indiana. Now we gotta get to this one right here. This one you're gonna have to use this massive 24 millimeter. All right, son of a bee. We gotta go left, so we'll go from this side. Now, it's just breaking it loose right now. Oh, maybe not. Wow, see what I mean? It's just so rusted out. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now we'll see how far this lets me take it. And that's it. 2 little turns. So the top of that bolt is a 10 millimeter, but it's so rusted out, you're not getting anything on it. So we're gonna start off with some vice grips holding that top bolt, and then we're gonna move on to a pair of pliers. I'll show you that here in a second. Now, if I could do this over again and show you guys, I would probably keep this bolt in right here. Keep it from swinging at me every time I pull. But I'm not putting it back in, so. You want these as tight as you can possibly get it. Here's essentially all I'm doing. Little quarter turns at a time, maybe half turns. That's all you're gonna really get until it bottoms out on top of that, or the bottom of that vice grip. And then we got to get creative because it's still not going to spin off the top, and I'll show you how to tackle that here in a second. So now that I'm at the very tip top of where I could possibly get it, so what we're going to do is, there's a silver ring you can see right there. You're going to want to grip these with pliers. I'm talking about as tight as you can while you spin that nut off the top. Okay, after the long battle, I won. Now we can get this lower control arm out. Oh, this thing's shot. Be nice to... Oh, there we go. And there we have it. Although they do actually make kits to rebuild this, but it's actually, labor-wise, it's actually cheaper just to replace the whole control arm. I mean, if you're doing it yourself, you don't have to really worry about the labor. So anyways, now that we have some more open room down here, we can go ahead and start the battle of trying to get this lower part of this sway bar link off. All right, I'm gonna fight this for a little bit and get back with you. Probably gonna have to break out the breaker bar and see how far we get it. So there's not a single possible way for me to get that off. I've tried, it's on there. It's just time to start cutting. I always make my initial cut just to get the actual sway bar link out of the way, and that just leaves that little ball right here, and this is what I'll cut through, and I'll take a chisel and just punch it out. So anyways, yeah, it took I think 9 or 10 seconds to cut this off, so it saves you so much time from trying to pry off. So anyways, I'm gonna get as close as I can to the sway bar, slice it off. So I cut it off. There you go. All right, now we'll go and get the new control arm. That's where we'll start. We'll start with the control arm, get that in, then we'll get the sway bar link put up, and this is it. There. Yeah, to getting all this together is not so bad. It's actually a really quick job. Oh, just getting this thing out. So now, put at least one of those in there, just to get that started. All right. Then if you're lucky and they're lined up properly, wiggle it. There we go. It's all the way through. There we go. Finally got it on. All right. Now we're going to take the really long bolt. Oh, come underneath here. Keep wiggling it until it goes in. yeah, that's good. So I'm just gonna take the 18 and just start it. You can put your finger on the other side, you can feel it if it's coming through straight or not. We don't want to hit it with any kind of power tools and cross thread that, which it's going in nice. As you can see from right here, there it is. Now we're gonna put the lower ball joint into the knuckle. There we go. This is one of those things where you don't have a nice set of 1/2-inch tools. If you have a Lincoln, you can afford 1/2-inch tools, so. All right. Lower it down. Okay. Kind of look like the threads were messed up. All right, put it onto the sway bar. Okay. Pop that in there. Now, since this one is actually new, you can actually take get your ratchet wrench going until you get to a certain point where it stops it, and then you could take a 10mm, which is right here. That actually looks larger than the factory. No, it's 10. All right. And you just drive it in like that. So that's how you do those. Remember, 15, 18, get your 24mm. Like I said, I'm not gonna drive it in by hand. This is where that combination will work. Like I said, if you don't have air tools or power tools, you don't need the shallow. But I had to order the shallow 18. There you have it. All right, so I'll tighten up the rest by hand. It's kind of a longer video. I apologize for that. I don't usually like to make them this long, but this is a good prime example of what it's like to work on cars in Indiana. The rust is insane. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this. Give you a lot of some tips and tricks. So yeah, also get your 32mm put back in, but you're gonna want to do this very last because you're still gonna want the play in your CV axle to get that lower ball joint nut in. All right, so I hope you enjoyed.